everybody, it's me, Caitlin. Time for my weekly Saturday update to let you guys know what I've been doing. There's going to be a little bit of Star Wars, but not a lot, so let's get this started. Apologies in advance. I've known on the last two videos I've done, there's been a weird thing with my sound. For some odd reason, both my newer computer, which I just got in December, and has started to act up a little bit. So the camera was doing something weird with the sound on one video. So I'm trying to use a camera on my old computer, which is like 2 or 3 years old, and there's a little sound issue, but it's better than the one on my newer computer. So please bear with me. These are currently the only 2 cameras I have that are working well enough for me to even vlog with. So I apologize for any issues with the sound or the picture. It is completely on my end, and as I have stated before, I don't know anything about technology. I literally think it's scared, and when it sees me, it runs screaming the other way as fast as it can. So I'm going to do my best. Hopefully, I'm sorry, I just moved the table, but hopefully things work out soon. It's not just my cameras. On my newer computer, I've been having issues with Google Chrome where I go to certain sites and all this stuff will pop up, and it takes me like a half an hour to close it all just to get to what I'm looking at. So I'm having computer issues, but I am fighting my way through it. I will figure something out. If I have to get my brother in here to help me, don't worry, something will be done. So, for the record, I apologize. Also, before I go any further, I would like to say thank you and give a shout out to, let me bring up their name, Blue28119. So Blue28119. Thank you so much. She commented on last Saturday's video. I think it's a she. I'm just calling it a she. Thank you. They commented last week on my video where I talked about my new haircut, and they said it looked really nice. Thank you, Blue. You're actually not the only person who likes it when I get my hair cut short like this. Lots of people like it with my hair cut short like this. I think it's because of the way my face is shaped, the way it looks. I just look nicer with shorter hair. So thank you. Hi. Thank you for commenting. And well, that's it for the shout out. So let's get started, and I will promise I will get the Star Wars stuff out of the way. Yes, so Wednesday night, good episode, Honorable Ones. Watch my Rebels recap, and if you watch my Rebels recap, you also notice that I got really excited because in the preview during the credits, they showed Yoda. Now, not a big surprise. He is in the mid-season trailer for Star Wars Rebels Season 2, so of course we all got excited seeing him. But my thought was that he wasn't going to come back to the last 2 episodes, maybe the last episode, to be part of a big finale for the season. So I wasn't banking on him showing up so soon. In fact, when I saw the preview Wednesday night during the credits, I thought they were doing what they did before. They just decided to put together a new preview that they are doing the credits where they just take a bunch of clips from upcoming episodes, smash them all together, and they just air that so you don't actually know what's going to be in the next week's episode unless you go watch Rebels Recon or follow the Star Wars YouTube channel where they will post previews. So I really did not think that Yoda would be in any forthcoming episode, but surprise, surprise, next week's episode, entitled Shroud of Darkness, we'll see the return of our favorite green, backwards talking, one of the coolest Jedi Masters ever. Yoda is back, and this time we're actually going to see him. If you're a Star Wars Rebels fan and you've watched Season 1, this isn't the first time Yoda has appeared in the Star Wars Rebels story. Back in Season 1, after Ezra briefly touches the dark side, Kanan decides to give him a test to see if Ezra is ready to be a Jedi. And they go to this little Jedi temple on the Thal, and Ezra has to face his fears. And during the course of this test, Yoda appears to both Kanan and Ezra. However, we don't actually see Yoda. We hear Yoda's voice, and he's basically represented by what I'm calling fireflies. So Yoda has appeared in Rebels before as fireflies and his voice, and he gives advice to both Kanan and Ezra. And of course, that is the episode where Ezra, at the end of his test, is given his Kyber crystal so he can build his lightsaber, which is, in my opinion, the coolest lightsaber ever built. So, Yoda has been in Rebels before, and so he's coming back. And they posted a new preview for Shroud of Darkness on the Star Wars YouTube channel, and I'm going to go watch it again for like the third or fourth time. And it is awesome because another of my favorite Star Wars characters is coming back. Finally, Ahsoka's back. I'm so happy she's back. I missed her. I love, she is awesome, and I'm so happy she's back. And basically the preview is Ahsoka and Ezra talking, and they're talking about Yoda, and then the next thing we know, Ezra's gone and he's talking to Yoda, and you can finally see him. So it's awesome. Also, it's interesting to note, one of the things everybody's been talking about in the mid-season trailer, which I keep referring back to, is the epic battle between Darth Vader and Ahsoka. And one of the things that led up to it was a scene where Ahsoka is like meditating, and the next thing we know is we hear Anakin's voice, not Darth Vader, Anakin's voice saying, basically, Ahsoka, why did you leave? Do you know what I've become? And of course, all of us are going, oh, no, the hurt, the feels, no, bad. And I'm guessing, because in the mid-season trailer, I realized that where she is when that happens, that scene, and where in the scene where she's talking to Ezra in the preview for next week's episode, Shroud of Darkness, look insanely similar. I'm thinking next week is the episode where Ahsoka has to confront the idea, the knowledge that her former master is that Anakin Skywalker, her former master, is no longer the great Jedi Knight he was. Anakin Skywalker is now Darth Vader, a Sith Lord, and she has to confront that. So, all in all, Shroud of Darkness looks like it's going to be a really interesting episode. Yoda, yay, that's what we know for sure. There's going to be a battle between Ezra, Kanan, and the Inquisitors. Like I said, I think that's the episode where Ahsoka's going to have to confront the truth about Darth Vader and Anakin. And also, it might be where Kanan himself has to confront some ghosts from his past in the form of a temple guard. So, But again, that's all conjecture. All I really know for sure is a battle between Kanan, Ezra, and the Inquisitors, whom we haven't seen since Legacy. And so it's been a few episodes. And of course, Yoda return. Yay! So happy day. I'm excited. I'm very excited. So be prepared. Work on your Yoda talk, and yay, Yoda's back. So enough Star Wars. That's pretty much been my week. I did say Thursday in my vlog, my hometown is kind of looking a little like Hoth, and it kind of is. Wednesday into Thursday, we had a major snowstorm move through, and it was kind of ironic because I live in Midland, Michigan, and Midland has a reputation of being one of those cities, and it's been like this for as long as I can remember, that the public school system does not like to close down. And the best example I can give to this is when I was in 7th and 8th or 8th grade, we had a really bad ice storm with snow move through one morning, just like an hour or two before the buses came running out to get the high school and junior high kids. And the superintendent, the guy in charge of calling school, only drove like certain roads, so he thought the roads were all fine, and they weren't. Like literally on the bus ride, because I lived out in the country, on the bus ride into the city to go to school, I was literally hanging on to the seat in front of me going, no, please don't crash, because the roads out where I lived were that bad. And actually, the parents got so fed up, they went and complained, and they decided they were going to call school early that day. And I remember it because my dad had decided that screw waiting for me to get done with school at like 2:15, he was going to come and get me at lunch. And he went into the lunchroom to come get me and started to freak out because I wasn't in the lunchroom. I was actually in the second floor of my junior high, in a conference room in the library, because I was part of my junior high's newspaper, and we were having a newspaper meeting that day. And I remember sitting back there with, I think there was like 3 other girls plus me, and we were sitting back there, and all of a sudden we hear a bunch of 6th graders in the library going, yay! And that's when we found out school was being dismissed early. And the next day, to make up for sending us to school in very bad weather, the school gave us a snow day. So it's very hard in Michigan to get a snow day. Okay, let's just put it that way. If we get a snow day, that means it's really, really bad. And in Midland, it means, okay, it's like chance for death. So, but the Midland Public Schools had 2 snow days. They got both Thursday and Friday off, and it was awesome. They called both days early. So, yay! Congratulations, Midland. You actually did something right. 2 snow days. So, hooray! So, my mom had 2 days off from school. She actually had to go to work Wednesday night during the worst part of the snowstorm. She almost got hit head-on turning into the Walmart she works at. So she actually went and said, I'm going home, turned around and came back home. So she actually technically had 2 nights off from both her jobs. So she had 2 full days off. Yay! Technically she had a 3rd day off because she was supposed to go work this morning. And they thought it was different. So she said, okay, screw it. I'm just going to go. And so, yay, my mom had 3 days off from work in a row. But yeah, we had a snowstorm and it's all white and stuff, and now it's warming up and it's starting to melt, so at least we had one good snowstorm. I'm hoping that the weather starts turning a little bit warmer because I don't want a repeat of a few Easters I've had where we used to go hunting for Easter eggs and there'd be like a foot of snow on the ground. Makes the Easter eggs very easy to find because the ground is white and then you have like a hot pink or lime green egg and it's sitting, so hopefully no snow on Easter this year. It has happened. People don't believe me. I'm like, yeah, I've had like 2 feet of snow on Easter, so I've had a white Easter, so yeah. So hopefully no snow on Easter. That would be awesome. That would be great. And I'm excited because if it all works out, my entire family will be coming to church with me on Easter Sunday. It's kind of hard. My brother's not really into organized religion, organized anything. My mom, because of her job, isn't really able to come to church with me as often as she wants to. And my dad, it's the same issue. Also, my dad isn't Lutheran. He's Church of God, and my mom and I are Lutheran. So, definitely made for a very interesting childhood growing up. Because I was like, when I was younger, we went to 2 different churches. But after a certain point, I only went to the Lutheran church, and then during the summer my parents would bus me around to different VBSs at all these different churches because VBS was free and it lasted for 5 days. So when I was younger I was very much involved in church, so I like church. My faith is a big part of who I am, so I enjoy it. I know most people are like, you like going to church? I like it. I like going to church. The church I go to now is actually the church where my great grandparents started going to. It's where my mom and some of my aunts were baptized. It's where one of my aunts got married. And there are people there who still remember my great-grandparents. So it's the church my mom went to as a little kid. So it's nice going back there. It's really small. It's pretty. It's gorgeous. So I'm glad I'm back there. I wish I could go more often because I don't have a car. Like I said, I usually walk or bike. So it always depends on the weather, whether or not I get to go to church. They offer me rides. Even my pastor has offered me a ride. I just don't want to make him give me a ride, him or his wife, because they actually live like an hour or 2 away from here, and I don't want them to go out of their way to come pick me up because I actually live the furthest out. Everybody, if anybody were to pick me up or drop me off, they would be going out of their way to do so. So I don't want anybody to do that. And so I prefer to do it on my own. It's not that bad. I'm only like a mile or 2 away from the church, so the hardest part is crossing the 2 busy roads, but I do that, so I like it. I'm hopefully going to go tomorrow, but I don't know what the sidewalks are going to be like. If the sidewalks are too bad, then I'm not going to be able to go. Oh well, I stay home and read, so. But if Dad and Mom are both able to get Easter Sunday off, I think my mom has it off. Dad's going to try and get it off because he works nights. But if they both have that, are able to, they're going to come to church with me Easter Sunday, which means my brother's going to come to church with me. But I bribed him a little because, as is tradition, my church is having an Easter breakfast after the service. And the easiest way to get my brother to pretty much do anything is to bribe him with free food. So, so he's coming to church Easter Sunday just because there's free food involved. So yeah. So yay, church, Easter, can't wait. let's see what else. Oh, I'm reverting again. I've been on a huge Star Wars kick lately, and I keep restarting Clone Wars. I'm sorry, this keeps turning into Star Wars. I don't know why, but watching like Star Wars and Clone Wars and stuff made me think of another show I used to watch as a little kid. From 1995. It was an old show, and I don't think a lot of people remember it. I'm even surprised I remember it because I didn't watch it for very long. My mom kind of caught on that this wasn't a very good show for kids to be watching, ironically enough, and it was a kid show. I don't know how many of you remember the TV show Gargoyles. It was like, I remember my brother and I, next to Power Rangers, we were absolutely in love with the TV show Gargoyles. For us when we were kids, it was Gargoyles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, and then for me, Sailor Moon. But I remember watching Gargoyles. My brother, actually, for Christmas, the year we started watching it, got the Gargoyles castle set, which is basically this big this castle in a square with a big empty space in the middle and like little turrets at all four corners, and he had a few of the gargoyles, and I would steal the gargoyles and play with them. I liked the show more than he did, and but of course, as with any good kid show, you grow up, you grow out of it, and of course there was the fact that Gargoyles was, if you remember Gargoyles and you go back and watch it now as an adult, you're probably running into what I'm thinking, that wow, this was a kid show. It is so dark and mature and adult, and it's shocking that this was marketed towards kids, but it was. And it's like, it kind of reminds me in a way of Clone Wars. Maybe that's why I started thinking of Gargoyles when I was watching Clone Wars, because Clone Wars was for a long while marketed towards kids, and it's not really a kid show. So but the Gargoyles, I loved Gargoyles as a kid, and the one episode I think I watched both the first two seasons before it was totally rebranded as I don't exactly know why it was controversial, but the third season, which is called Gargoyles The Goliath Chronicles, is apparently really controversial, and I haven't watched it yet. I started to watch the third season because, again, I went to my website, Kiss Cartoon. They had it there, but I started having issues, so I went and I found, I think it's 2 Nova, and they have it there, and it's so much easier for me to use. So I started watching over. And there's 52 episodes in the second season, so it's going to take me a while to get back, to where I was. But I remember as a little kid, I was fascinated with Elisa and Goliath's relationship. To me, it was literally Beauty and the Beast, because Beauty and the Beast is my favorite fairy tale. I love Beauty and the Beast. And so I think I instantly attributed Beauty and the Beast to Elisa and Goliath. Only I was happy that he never became human, so that was good. But the one Gargoyles episode that still stands out in my mind is from season 1. It's episode 8, and it's called Deadly Force. And it's a very dark episode. It's a very interesting episode, and it's really dark in terms of other episodes to compare it with. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. Basically, Deadly Force was kind of a cautionary tale about gun violence, about guns and the gun safety. And basically, one of the Gargoyles, Broadway, he's big and he's green and he loves food and he loves movies and stuff. One night he goes to go watch a movie that the trio, which is Brooklyn, Bronx is the dog. Brooklyn, Lexington, and Broadway have all loved. I think it's called Shootout or something. Oh, Showdown. And he's fascinated by the gunfight in it because he's a boy, and so he's fascinated by the gunfight, and he goes to Elisa's apartment and to visit her, and she is of course frustrated because she's working with a case involving the theft of like millions of dollars worth of very dangerous guns, very dangerous weapons, and she's there. But he goes to her apartment after the movie and just decides to explore, and she's gonna cook him dinner, and then he finds the gun, which she on accident, she's a cop, and she on accident left her gun where he could get it, and the gun is loaded. So he doesn't know the gun is loaded, grabs the gun, starts playing with it, and he accidentally shoots Elisa. And he gets so freaked out, takes her to the hospital, and it's very interesting because they show the blood, they show the reaction, they don't really show the graphic parts of the surgery, but you hear the doctors talking about all what happened. You know, the bullet went through here, bounced off some ribs, hit a heart valve, went through this, they got it from her spine. There's a chance she might not make it. The next 12 hours are going to be really critical to decide whether or not she's going to live. And at one point in the episode, her heart actually does stop and they have to revive her. So, and it's very interesting. And Broadway feels so horribly guilty that he goes on this rampage against guns. And Goliath, of course, thinks the guy that Elisa was trying to get the stolen guns back from did it. And then Broadway meets up with him and confesses, oh, it was my fault. I'm the one who shot Elisa. But they get the guy, Goliath destroys the guns, and then takes Broadway to the hospital to see Elisa, who survives. And Broadway apologizes, saying it was his mistake. He really shouldn't have played with the gun. And Elisa said it was her mistake. She really should have thought better about where to put it and what to do with it. And in the end, they both learned a lesson. So it was that's the episode that stands out to me, and I don't know why Deadly Force stands out to me so much. I remember reading somewhere about it recently when I started to think about getting back into watching Gargoyles. Actually, it was a comment somebody made on YouTube, because some of the episodes have been posted on YouTube, and that was one of them. Somebody commented that this was a very good episode to watch to learn about gun safety and gun violence and prevention, because it's one of the few episodes for a kids show that there are consequences for even just playing with guns. Broadway did not mean to shoot Elisa. He just saw the gun and went, oh my gosh, it's a gun. I've seen this on TV, on videos, and starts playing with it and doesn't stop to think that maybe it's not the smartest idea to play with it. And also Elisa made the mistake of not putting the gun somewhere safe where where someone wouldn't see it and be tempted by it. So Deadly Force is definitely a really interesting episode. It's the only Gargoyles episode actually that I very clearly remember from my childhood, and I don't know why, but that was the only Gargoyles episode I could actually remember. But like I said, Gargoyles is an awesome show. I appreciate it so much more now that I'm an adult than I did as a kid, because I think the way the show was written, design and stuff, I think the show was supposed to be aimed at like teens, young adults. And what happened is that Disney got a hold of it and decided to market it as a kids show without really changing anything, which didn't work so well. They did 3 seasons. I think the first season has like 15 episodes, and then season 2 has 52 episodes, and the majority of those episodes are Goliath, Elisa, Bronx, and Angela, who is Goliath's daughter, traveling around the world. And it was the World Tours. There's like 15 episodes where it's just them traveling around the world. And then 52 episodes of that, and then the third season has 13. And then afterwards, the guy who was like the writer and stuff for the first 2 seasons, he left the show because Disney moved it to ABC, and ABC totally gutted the show and got rid of most of the original writers and producers and stuff. And so the guy who did most of the amazing episodes did a comic book series, because he considered what they did in Gargoyles: The Goliath Chronicles after the first episode to totally deviate from what he wanted to be. So after the first episode, season 3, he wrote a comic book series, which was short-lived because Disney upped the fees to use Gargoyles because Disney owns them. So unfortunately, Gargoyles is no longer around, but there are still Gargoyles fans. I am one myself. I'm returning to my youth of Gargoyles. But you can go online. There's actually some really cool like gargoyle pictures and stuff. I found one on Google, and it's basically a group picture of the Gargoyles, and it says, hey, and it basically says, F Star Wars, full word, but I'm not saying it. F Star Wars, Disney, if you make Gargoyles a movie, I will be your slave for life, because everybody wants it to either be a movie or a TV show. I prefer it to be a TV show, because I think the movie, it just wouldn't be enough. I would like if they made a Gargoyles movie, but I would also like them to make a Gargoyles TV show. They did that with, oh my gosh, I think it was Defenders of the Galaxy. The one with Star-Lord, I don't know, my brother loves it. I think it's Defenders of the Galaxy. That was a movie, and now it's an animated TV show on Disney XD. So I think they could do a Gargoyles movie and then make a Gargoyles TV show. That would be awesome. It would be really cool. I think that Disney would get a whole nother audience if they did that, because there are so many people like me who are now trying to return to the nostalgia. I like Gargoyles. I think it's interesting. It's classic. It's something you don't really see anymore, the classic animated style. So it's really nice watching Gargoyles. I miss it so much. I'm still rooting for Goliath and Elisa all the way. Yay! So definitely, if you've never seen Gargoyles or you watched it as a kid and you haven't seen it in a few years, go check it out. It is an amazing show. I love it, and I can't get over Hudson's Scottish accent. That's partly because I'm so used to hearing it now in my own household. My mom loves this band called Celtic Thunder, which is like Irish, Scottish. So all the guys in it have like an Irish or Scottish accent, and it's like I'm hearing it all the time now. I even have them on I even listen to them myself, so I hear it a lot. And besides, I'm Celtic, so it's really cool seeing a show that involves a little bit of Celtic mythology, and I love it. So go check out Gargoyles. It is awesome. I promise you won't be disappointed. And I think that's it. I think that's it for the week. I had a major shopping spree this week. My mom actually gave in to my pleas. She gave in to my pleas, and she got me a lightsaber. I wanted one for the longest time, but the one I want is like a combat stunt style lightsaber, and it's like $200. I don't think I'm ever gonna get it, but I begged and I pleaded. I would even take one of those really cheap plastic ones they make for kids, and that's what I got. Unfortunately, it's not the one I wanted. I wanted Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber, and I got Luke's. Oops. So I just pretend it's somebody else's lightsaber, but I have it, and it's actually sitting on top of my bookcase right now with my little pony and my 25th anniversary Christmas Barbie doll. So it's out of the reach because I brought it home, and within 5 minutes I was playing it with it, because you're supposed to fling it out to get it to extend, and I did that, and I heard something snap, and I kind of broke it. I didn't even have it for a full day, and I broke the lightsaber. I'm horrible. I broke it. Now if I extend it to get it to go back in, to get it to collapse again, I actually have to twist the different parts of them to get it to go down. That's why it's sitting on top of my bookcase. It was $10. I feel so horrible because that's what my mom bought me. And she also got me a $25 Amazon gift card so I could start getting the Star Wars Jedi Apprentice books I'm missing. I was able to order 3, and it's horrible because I can get them used for like a penny. And that's great, especially if there's no tax. It's just that they charge $3.99 for shipping per book. So for 3 books, 2 of which were like a penny, with the $3.99 shipping, it cost me like $25. One of them wasn't a penny. I think one of them was like $9, but still, that's a lot. $3.99. That's more than the book. So 2 of them came. Hidden Past and Mark of the Crown, which are books 3 and 4. Dark Rival, which I think is the name of the second book. It's either Dark Rival or Dark Apprentice. That's the one where Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon officially become Master and Padawan. That should be here in a few days. That one's coming from Texas, so. But once that one comes in, I will have 5 of the 20 books, which means I only need 15 more. But luckily, I can go on to Amazon and I can get them all. I wish I was rich, and I wish I had PayPal, because there was a guy on eBay who was selling the complete set for, I think it was $100. Oh well. I will just have to get a job so I can keep buying Amazon gift cards so I can get the rest of the books, because I really want the rest of the books. And the sad part is the more recent books, those are the ones that are going to cost like a little bit more, so I don't know. That's the only book collection I want besides the Cassandra Clare books, and those I don't have to get through Amazon, so yep. Oh, and I got a Kindle Fire, yay! So I have a new tablet. I'm happy. So other than that, boring week. I do have an idea, maybe to get you guys a little bit more involved. I was thinking about doing a Q&A. Basically, I want you guys, if you don't know how this works, to leave questions for me below or comments about and ask me about pretty much anything you want to know about me. What my family's like, what are some of my hobbies, what's my biggest, deepest, darkest secret, what is the thing I'm most afraid of. As long as they're not too inappropriate, I will answer them, so ask away. And then that's it for today. So send in your questions for next week so I can start doing Q&A with you guys. You can ask me anything you want. It can be about my political views, my faith, anything, my family history. Just remember, keep it PG-13. So that's it for today. I will actually be back Monday, guys. Monday, you're going to see me 3 times a week if you like my vlogs, which, doubt it. But I'll be back Monday for all you oncers to kick off my Once Upon a Time mid-season recap. Remember, Once Upon a Time comes back March 6th for the second half of the season with all new episodes. Like I said, we're going into the underworld. We're going to hell. So I'm going to do a recap to kind of go over what's happened so far and to get us caught up. And then I'll start doing recaps on Monday. And then, of course, so look for that. Next Wednesday, of course, is the new Star Wars Rebels episode, Shroud of Darkness. Yay, Yoda and Ahsoka, they're back! So excited. So that will be my first reaction video, and that will be posted either Thursday or Friday to give everybody a little bit more time to see it, maybe Saturday. And then look for the recap on Thursday, and then I will be back Saturday with a weekly update and, of course, answers to your questions. So take care, guys. I'll see you in a few days. Have fun, stay warm, and hey, go read a book. Go find Jedi Apprentice and read it. So I'll talk to you guys later.